Evening.
Salutations.
Have you noticed he's wearing no socks right now? He's just wandered in and destroyed everything.
It's been very warm and humid today and I'm in trackies.
Yeah, the underground has just been the worst.
Shocker block.
We had to go a bit out of our way for this one. In case you've not read, in case you just clicked on things randomly, we went to review. We went to Rich Mix Cinema in Shoreditch, which, according to the people I know who live in London or used to live in London, was rubbish, but then they gentrified it and now it's a posh part of London.
Seemed quite nice while we were there.
Yeah, no, I really liked the cinema we were in. We went to see Five Fingers of Marseilles, which is the first of quite a few foreign language films we're seeing at this festival.
Yeah, the second not including Bamps on Pirates, obviously that was a documentary.
Oh yeah, no, fair enough. This is the first fictional film we're seeing.
Yeah, it was the one I wanted. It was one of the ones that I was actually really interested in seeing.
Yeah, I wasn't too keen to necessarily go and see it based on the descriptions. I kind of saw. But that's not being said I didn't want to see it. I put it more in the maybe part.
Yeah. See, the reason I wanted to see it is because so I knew the setting was South Africa, and basically the synopsis they gave on the website was that it's basically a group of youths living in a small sort of backwater town, and then they one of them ends up basically starting a good deal of conflict in the town, and white people are driven from there. And then he returns quite a few years later and finds the town is basically being run by a gang leader. And I selected Five Fingers for Marseille because I thought it was going to be a sort of political commentary. I don't know much about South Africa or the political climate there, so I was like, okay, this will be interesting. And it actually turned out to be a Western film, but with the setting changed to South Africa, which obviously was the intention.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, you can tell that from looking at this film. For a person who wasn't that massive about seeing it, I actually kind of enjoyed this one. Yeah,
whereas I was big about seeing it and I did not really enjoy it. Partially probably because of the misconception that I was going to go and see something that would it'd be sort of an educational film.
Whereas I kind of knew what I was getting. I was actually kind of worried it would devolve way too much into what Ren wanted it to be, and that would cheapen the Western experience. But I think this film should have found more of a middle ground, and it did not find that middle ground.
Yeah, the whole changing setting, I think. Well, it was, not many,
It does feel like something can actually happen in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I realised halfway through, okay, it is actually a Western, it's just been ported over to, somewhere in South Africa. And I kind of felt that didn't really add anything to it. They just sort of did that because they could. I
haven't actually been to that part of South Africa, so I can't really comment about the region.
But, I do think that if they replaced everybody with a white character, the mayor of the town was, a rich baron or something, and the gang leader was led a rampaging sort of Red Dead Redemption style crew.
It does actually remind me, on a lot of levels it did remind me a bit of Red Dead Redemption, but it reminded me more of the Magnificent Seven actually.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, no, I think that, especially considering I had to see both versions of Magnificent Seven in quite quick succession around this time last year. So I think those films are still fresh in my memory when I think of westerns. You also had a bit of problem with the pacing as well.
Yeah, so it was a 2-hour film, and I didn't really feel as though it had to be the full 2 hours. There were
it could have been an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it definitely could have cut off about 20 minutes, but there was a lot of sort of unnecessary padding, is how you described it.
But at the same time, it's also that's kind of what to be expected of Western films. Western films are meant to be very slow burners.
Yeah, absolutely, and in a way that kind of works to its advantage because you learn more about the characters. And some of the performances were actually pretty good. Yeah,
I liked the guy who played Lion. He was very good.
Yeah, so that's the main character for anybody who hasn't seen it.
The plot, that whole plot about the five of them driving off the sort of corrupt white officers is very much the very early portion of the film. It's much more them as adults.
Yeah. So should we run through the plot a little bit? Well, I mean, I sort of described it a little bit.
We sort of, I think we described it enough
Yeah,
for
yeah.
now. The gang leader is actually one of the ones that I think is one of the
More notable characters.
more notable characters. But as you pointed out, he should have been a one-note villain.
Yeah, so they when they introduced the actual main villain of it, you know, really cool. The voice of the character is incredible. The voice of the actor is incredible, and the whole. I know that the way he looks, because he looks quite outlandish compared to how the other people dress, and more sort of fitting with traditional African themes, I would say. But when they actually sort of gave him depth and explored a little bit about him, I thought that actually was to his detriment. I didn't think that was I didn't think that was really sort of helping the character itself, and sort of took away from the experience, I think. But yeah, so going back to the pacing, there were several times where it could have been sped up, definitely. But in addition, the sequence of events kind of felt a bit odd. So there was should I speak about this? About the taking.
Well, considering that we don't know when this is coming to cinemas, I think we should try and avoid as much spoilers as possible.
Okay, I'll just say that there are issues with the sequencing of events. Things happen either too quickly or not fast enough, and the times where it's too quick.
There's a few things that are a bit implausible. There's a few characters that should have died a lot sooner.
Yeah, it's sort of. I mean, like, you know, there's Boromir levels of hardiness where you can survive 3 arrows, but there's also apparently lion levels where you can survive several wounds, we'll say.
Yeah, no, he's definitely giving. I think he's been killed more times than Frodo and Aragorn.
Yeah. Also, the film sort of circle jerks, and there's no real reason for it.
Aragorn. Why am I
Aragorn hasn't died. Never. Oh, well, he died. He
nearly died in Two Towers.
Yeah.
None of us believed it though, because the next film's called Return of the King.
Well, he was very nearly killed in the third one by the troll.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah. No. Still the best one of the three, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I like Two Towers personally.
No, I'm going to go for Return of the King. I'm going to stick with that one. I think Return of the King is the one that was the best overall.
Fair enough. But yeah, so the sequencing of events wasn't really the most fluid, and it could have been improved upon, definitely. But your opinion? I mean, you said you actually quite enjoyed it.
I quite enjoyed it for what it was worth. As a Western goes, I've seen a lot worse films that have tried to revive the Western in a modern setting and done it very badly. I quite like this one. Although I'm not going to say I like this more than the Coen Brothers version of True Grit, for example, which I thought was a really good film. I think I liked the fact the film had a lot of edge to it. I like the fact it didn't shy away from the rather bloody. I actually thought the blood effects and all that were very good as well.
Yeah, actually, the effects on the action scenes were pretty damn good.
The thing that really fell down for me with this movie, and the thing that was the ending.
Yeah.
The ending, without giving anything away, really doesn't make much sense and really doesn't need to be there, and just because of something that was foreshadowed earlier in the film.
Yeah, and there's. The thing is, I think most notably, there are times where character arcs could have been concluded very, very effectively and sort of, you know, left us feeling satisfied. But, you know, the ending that we were given, I don't think actually was the best that it could have been. I think looking back at it, there are moments where it definitely could have, you know, it probably could have reached, like, its natural end and characters could have seen, you know, their conclusions, but...
It doesn't quite go there, does it?
It tried to tie itself up in a way that they thought was going to be satisfying, but ultimately took away from.
I think they should. Going back to the Magnificent Seven, I think they should have gone more with an ending similar to that film.
Again, I haven't seen that one, by the way, or I don't think I've seen True Grit. Possibly. This vlog basically is just me saying I haven't seen all of the films that you've seen.
Yes. If you're going to watch The Magnificent Seven, I actually would recommend the remake over the original film. I don't think the original film's aged that well in terms of the pacing, and the original one goes on way too long. I think the new one, the pacing is much better, and it still tells the same basic story.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're missing out on much. Plus, it has a real Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it, especially with Chris Pratt in one of the roles.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, no, I do remember which one you're talking about now. I just didn't know for a while. Okay.
Yeah, it's the one with Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, there's Vincent D'Onofrio's in it.
Who's he? What's he doing?
He's the Kingpin in Daredevil.
Oh damn! Oh, he's in it.
Yeah, he's
I watched that. I loved him in Daredevil. He was awesome.
Yeah, there's quite a few stars in it. It's actually one of the most diverse casts I've seen in a while,
No way. Sweet.
especially for a western.
Have you seen the Ridiculous Six, the Adam Sandler film on Netflix?
No, I refuse
Please
to.
never watch that. It's
I
terrible.
refuse. I refuse to watch any of Adam Sandler's Netflix films because it's just pure. That is how proof of how low he sunk. Even Sony got bored of him and said, "Yeah, we're not making any more of your tripe."
He's had alright films to his credit. I think Click was pretty good. I also enjoyed Happy Gilmore.
I like Happy Gilmore.
Little Nicky as well.
Little Nicky, and I think 51st Dates has its moments.
Yeah, that was pretty damn good.
But for everyone, actually one of the very unpopular opinion, I actually kind of like the remake of The Longest Yard he was in.
Haven't seen that.
You might quite. I probably like it. I mean, I mainly watched it because there was a load of wrestlers in it.
You know an Adam Sandler film that I would recommend now?
Which one?
Pixels, even.
Oh Christ! I saw that. It was one of the worst films I saw in 2015.
Don't watch Pixels, please. Don't
It
watch
was
Pixels. Do yourself a favour.
appallingly
It was
bad.
dire. Don't watch it.
Donald Trump's the president, and yet I'm not buying Kevin James as the president in that.
But yeah, anyway, so those were our thoughts on Five Fingers from Marseille. I think we've said all we're pretty much.
Yeah, I think. But are you a ghost? Are you go see it in cinema, buy it, rent it, or avoid altogether?
Well, I said this to you earlier, but I think that it's a late night film. It's one that you know if it's 1 o'clock or something and you just sat on the sofa with nothing else to do and this comes on, then I say watch it.
Yeah, but I think it tries to be deeper than that, which as I said to you earlier, I think it tries to be deeper than that, but it doesn't quite succeed in that.
Yeah,
but it makes a valiant attempt to, and I think.
Yeah,
I think
it's fairly good. It's fairly good watching if you don't pay too much heed to it.
So, but that's saying you'd say rent it then,
Yeah, rent it.
or would you buy it?
Rent it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say rent it. I don't think this is a film you're going to want to come back to more than once.
No, I mean it's okay, but it does its job, you know.
But I would not want to have this thing on my DVD shelf constantly there.
Staring at you.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why any film I've got on my DVD shelf is going to be constantly staring at me and is constantly going to be a reflection of my taste in films, and I'm not sure I'd want this one on that shelf. That being said, I do think this film has a lot of merit, and I think it's worth a watch, so I'd definitely say rent it as soon as it comes out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, we're starting animated films tomorrow. We're doing an animated film.
Yes, we are. Big Fish in the Begonia?
Yeah. I look forward to that one.
Yeah, man.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.